Chooch. This is Outside the Bunker. This is a program that gets to the point, does not pull punches, does not mince words. Mean what you say what you mean. Redeem the time, for the days are evil. Thank you for tuning in. This is, I believe, pretty important Outside the Bunker. I have 5 pages of the transcript. This is actually not the whole transcript. These are important parts of the speech that took place between Trump and Netanyahu, which I believe is prophetically significant. I want to let you listen to this psalm first. I'm going to read a section of this psalm, and then we're going to go into our subject matter. This is from Psalm 68. I'm going to start in verse 20. Our God is a God of salvation, and to God the Lord belongs deliverance from death, but God will strike the heads of his enemies, the hairy crown of him who walks in his guilty ways. The Lord will bring them back from Bashan. I will bring them back from the depths of the sea, that you may strike your feet in their blood, that the tongues of your dogs may have their portion from the foe. Your procession is seen, O God, the procession of my God, my King in the sanctuary. The singers in the front, the musicians last, between them, virgins playing tambourines. Bless God in the great congregation, the Lord, O you who are of Israel's fountain. There is Benjamin, the least of them, in the lead, the princes of Judah in their throng, the princes of Zebulun, the princes of Naphtali. Summon your power, the power, O God, by which you have worked for us. Because of your temple at Jerusalem, kings shall bear gifts to you. Rebuke the beasts that dwell among the reeds, the herd of the bulls with the calves of the peoples. Trample underfoot those who lust after tribute. Scatter the peoples who delight in war. Nobles shall come from Egypt. Cush shall hasten to stretch out her hands to God. O kingdoms of the earth, sing to God. Sing praises to the Lord. To him who rides in the heavens, the ancient heavens. Behold, he sends out his voice, the mighty voice. Ascribe power to God, whose majesty is over Israel. Ascribe power to God, whose majesty is over Israel, and whose power is in the skies. Awesome is the God from his sanctuary, the God of Israel. He is the one who gives power. The God of Israel, he is the one who gives power and strength to his people. Blessed be God. Okay, now we got that straightened out. I suggest reading that whole psalm. But we clearly see in that psalm, God is mighty. God is the one that delivers. God is the God of Israel and the skies, for those who are watching. He's the God of the skies. So, Donald Trump and Netanyahu, I have some of the transcript here. I'm going to read sections of this. I can't get through all 5 pages on what I believe is important, what we heard, what is prophetically significant, because I believe that this was prophetically significant for those who have ears. Listen, this is from Donald Trump. He says, I want to say it's an honor to have you with us. He's talking to Netanyahu. Over the past 4 years, the U.S. and the Israeli alliance has been tested more than any time in history. But the bonds of friendships and affection between America and Israeli people have endured for generations, and they're absolutely unbreakable. Listen what he said. Absolutely unbreakable. Really? So the friendship between the USA and Israel is unbreakable, okay? Together, we, Israel and USA, we defeated ISIS. We entered the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, one of the worst deals ever. We starved Hamas and Iran's other terrorist proxies. We starved them like they had never seen before. Resources and support disappear from them. So you already get the tenor of this message of Israel and USA, with no help from anybody else, was able to do incredible things. I see no mention of God here. And to be quite honest with you, not much humility, at least to start off. Then he goes, Trump now, I recognized Israel's capital, opened the American embassy in Jerusalem, and got it built. By the way, built it to just, not only designated it, but got it built at a price that nobody has seen for years. We got it built. It's beautiful. All Jerusalem stone, right from nearby. And it's something that's very, very special. And recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, something they talked about for years. They weren't able to get it done, and I got it. And with the historic Abraham Accords, something that was really an achievement that was, I think, going to become more and more important because we achieved the most significant Middle East peace agreement in half a century. The Abraham Accords in particular. So Trump is lauding over himself and all the things that he accomplished. And I find it interesting that the Abraham Accords, which used to be referred to as just this normalization agreement between Israel and one of the Arab nations, now is being labeled primarily as a peace agreement. Significant. Biblically speaking, significant. And then he goes on to talk about all the other countries that are planning on joining the Abraham Accords. And then he starts talking about believing that the Gaza Strip, quote, which has been a symbol of death and destruction for so many decades and so bad for the people anywhere near, and especially those who live there, frankly, who's been really unlucky. Unlucky. He mentions the word luck a couple times, which luck sounds to me like by chance. Oh, chips didn't fall your way. And he's and this might be real because he described what he saw there as basically a demolition site. Yeah, that's exactly what he says. And that it's not worthy of them going back into the land. Now, this is what he says. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious. They instead can occupy all of the beautiful area with homes and safety. They can live out in their homes. He's talking about the people who used to live in Gaza finding an ulterior alternative of a place to live, of a neighboring country, welcoming them in, which I don't think actually the neighboring countries want them in, so that they can live out their lives in peace and harmony instead of having to go back and do it again. Listen to this. The U.S., this floored me, the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip and will do a job with it too. I did not expect that. We'll own it. This is Trump speaking now. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited number of jobs. Trump tends to want to promote people will get jobs, which is nice, but not at the sacrifice of going against the very will of God. First of all, United States has absolutely no right to have 1 square inch of that land in Gaza. In fact, no one on earth has a right to have any swatch of land in that region except Israel. And so by Trump saying that, we'll own it, we'll take it over. Has he read his Bible? Are you looking to have a tremendous curse be brought on your nation for saying that? And why would Netanyahu agree to such a thing? And just because it's in ruins or rubble doesn't mean that Trump could go in there and create whatever economic situation or development that may profit him, may even profit the United States, but it's not our territory. It isn't. So now Netanyahu gets to speak. And look at how he lauds Trump. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm honored that you invited me to be the first foreign leader to visit the White House in your second term. This is a testament of your friendship and support for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. Now listen to this, what he says. I've said this before and I'll say it again. You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House. Wow. Now, even though there might be some truth to that, my friends in TOL land, keep in mind, and I'm not saying Trump's the Antichrist, but this is the very statement that you may hear when the true Antichrist comes into play. Israel will be speaking such words as this. Because before the Antichrist stabs Israel in the back, Israel will treat or think that he's Messiah and will think wonderfully about that man. Now look what he continues to say about Trump. And that's why the people of Israel have such enormous respect for you. In your first term, you recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital. You moved the American embassy there. You recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. You withdraw the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. And remember when we spoke about it and you said this is the worst deal I've ever seen. So Netanyahu's absolutely lauding Trump. And Netanyahu speaking in such a way, he's not even saying your administration. He's not even saying America. He is saying you, Donald Trump, you did this, you did this, you did this. All right, I'm going to skip a little bit just for the sake of time. So Netanyahu speaks. Listen to what he says a little bit later on in the speech of that he had time after Trump spoke. He goes like this. And today you renewed the maximum pressure campaign against Iran. Ladies and gentlemen, all this in just 2 weeks. Can we imagine where we'll be in 4 years? I can. I know you can, Mr. President. Listen, nobody knows what tomorrow brings. There's a very good chance Israel's going to be well into the time of Jacob's trouble in 4 years from now. So just because Trump's at the helm and Netanyahu's at the helm and things seem to be warm and promising for Israel right now, don't turn your back. Because what prophecy has to say is not a good outlook. No, no, no. By the end of the tribulation period, 2/3 of Israel will be cut off. I believe that means 2/3 of every Jewish person will perish during that awful time of the tribulation period. That's not a time to look forward to. But you could see that both Netanyahu and Trump seem to be ignorant of Bible prophecy. But here's the kicker. This is what Netanyahu said. The Bible, this is Netanyahu. The Bible says that the people of Israel will rise like lions. I wish he gave me chapter and verse. Look what he says now. And boy, did we rise. Today, the roar of the Lion of Judah is heard loudly throughout the Middle East. Does he realize what he just said? This is what Netanyahu said. Today, the roar of the Lion of Judah. He's referring to the Lion of Judah as Israel. My friend, Benjamin Netanyahu, with all due respect, that title, more specifically, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, is for the true Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus, whom your nation had face to face and walked with your ancestors and tried to show them the way and laid down his life by shedding his blood so that everybody, both Gentile and Jew, have a free gift of receiving salvation. That is the Lion of the tribe of Judah, not Israel. Israel's a mere kitten without God, without the God of Israel. Oh. And the Iran terror axis has never been weaker. So he's boasting that Israel's never been stronger, which is not true. And Iran's never been weaker. And I don't know how to answer that. But as we discussed, Mr. President, to secure, right, our future and bring peace, little note of peace and security there, in different order, to our region, we have to finish the job. Not the God of Israel. We're going to do it, Trump, you and I. We're going to take care of the Middle East. All right, let me go to the next page here. Trump says Saudi Arabia is going to be very helpful, and they have been very helpful. They want peace in the Middle East. It's very simple. We know their leader and their leaders very well. They are wonderful people, and they want peace in the Middle East. As far as Gaza is concerned, we will do what is necessary. If it's necessary, we'll do that. We're going to take over that peace, and we're going to develop it, create thousands and thousands of jobs. He loves saying that. And it will be something. The entire Middle East, something the entire Middle East can be proud of. So Saudi Arabia is going to be a key player here because Saudi Arabia has been very insistent that they won't come to the table to do Abraham Accords unless there's a two-state solution. Netanyahu originally didn't want to do this. I bet you if Trump tells Netanyahu to do it, that Netanyahu will do it. And boy, would that be the biggest mistake. to agree to divide that land up and give even a portion of Jerusalem to the Palestinians. Now, I know I'm already going into overtime and into fine territory, getting fined, but I need to go over to get this important stuff out. I do see, okay, here it goes. I just don't want to make sure I go over anything that's really important. I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of Middle East. What do you mean long-term ownership position? Ownership for who? Ownership for the United States and Gaza? Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea. Listen to this. Everyone, and he speaks in such hyperbole. He's got to be speaking in hyperbole. He loves to say things like everyone I talk to, the response has been overwhelmingly supportive. Who exactly is he talking about? What's he saying? Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land. You're kidding me. There is no way I believe that. Who did you speak to? Must be a very limited circle of people. So to my surprise, Trump is pulling this. I know he loves real estate. He wants some real estate in the Middle East. And then he goes on to say, creating thousands of jobs. Here we go. It's like he'll take over Mars and say, well, we'll take over Mars. We'll call it the United States of Mars, a satellite planet, and we'll create thousands of jobs for Martians. It's like as long as he thinks like as long as people here, thousands of jobs will be created. That he could do whatever he wants. And then this is really, let me see if I could find this section here. Okay, he goes on to talk about the demolished buildings again and all that. I'm trying to find the part where he says, where is it? So he once again says, I can tell you I speak to other leaders of the countries of the Middle East and they love the idea. It would really bring stability, and what we need is stability, security, stability. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's really been something that he's been harping on. Okay, here it is. I think I found it. Okay, here it is. Okay, now listen to this. They asked him a question about Gaza. I envision a world, people living there, the world's people. I think you'll make that into an international, unbelievable place. This is Gaza now. I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. And I think the entire world representatives from all over the world will be there. We have the opportunity to do something that could be phenomenal. And I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so. This could be so magnificent. But more importantly than that is the people that have been absolutely destroyed and live there now can live in peace in a much better situation. So you move out because now I want Gaza. And then I'll rebuild it. We'll take ownership because it has such a bad history. And then we're going to make it into like Monte Carlo. We're going to make it into the Riviera. We might even put a Trump casino in there. It'll become a tourist attraction. I mean, folks, if this was a movie, I'd walk out because it would be that unbelievable. I almost can't believe what I'm hearing. It's like he's schmoozing people to try to get that land for the United States and his agenda. I just don't get it. Now, there's more here than I could have time to go over. I went over some important things, but these are my concerns, okay? And how is this working towards the end times? In fact, before I go, the question was posed to him about a two-state solution, because I think that this is one more important section here. He says it doesn't mean anything about a two-state or one state or any other state. It means we want to have, whoa. See what happens when I go over? They try to kill my electricity in the car here. They have never had a chance to have life because the Gaza Strip has been a hellhole. That's from Donald Trump's quote. I'm not being foul-mouthed. For people living there, it's been horrible. Hamas has made it so bad, so dangerous, so unfair to the people. And by doing what I'm recommending that we do, it's a very strong recommendation, but it is a strong recommendation. By doing that, we think we're going to bring perhaps great peace to long beyond this area. And I have to stress, this is not for Israel. This is for everybody in the Middle East. Arabs, Muslims, this is for everybody. Okay, so the two-state solution, one-state solution, two-state solution, any state solution, Trump is going to do what he thinks is best for himself and the United States or whomever else that might be behind the scenes. I am concerned, folks, by this. I am concerned by Netanyahu's absolute seems to be under Trump's spell. It was just short of worshiping Trump. I'm also concerned about, again, Trump being a braggart and claiming basically how great he is and what he's done. And how also Trump speaks so matter-of-factly about what he would like to get done in the future, which really, if you see through it, is it really benefiting Israel and the Palestinians and the Middle East? Or does he have an agenda here where he's serving self? And then ultimately, it's just the incredible opportunity that both of these men had to recognize the sovereignty of God, or even to seek God in a humble way, and instead they trumpet their own strength and what they would have done, what they want done in the future. And the only mention of something that seemed to be remotely connected to God was a misquote that Netanyahu made about the Bible and the Lion of Judah, which obviously he was referring to as Israel being the Lion of Judah, when it's clearly, without him realizing it, Jesus is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So, what do you make of this? I see that this clearly showing me that something's going to give. something's got to give. In fact, I didn't even read you the section about Trump basically flat out saying Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. And guess what? Iran either has them or will continue moving forward to have them, which ultimately will lead to Israel striking Iran and perhaps Jeremiah 49, the end of it, being fulfilled. And lastly, the language in this transcript, which was spoken by both Netanyahu and Trump: peace, 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 peace. And the scripture says they say peace, 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 but there is no peace. And the peace that this world has to offer is not the same peace that Christ offers. In fact, they're looking in the wrong place for peace, because Trump can't truly provide peace and Netanyahu can't provide peace. No person on earth could provide peace. It is only the Prince of Peace, which is Christ, who will bring everlasting peace to Israel. It's that plain and it's that simple. Folks, I am way over. I am now in potential suspension territory, so I need to bid you farewell, chew on what I said. But remember, Jesus is coming back soon, and with that, I hope to see you here, there, but especially in the air. God bless.